Hello and welcome back to the Planet Crafter. In our last episode, we started building our base, at least the basic part of it, but we made a couple changes during the middle and moving it around, where to place it, where to start from, and I made some changes again. So we're going to go out and take a look at that. But before we do, I'm back here at the old base, the old building. I wanted to show that I put up two more tier 3 miners collecting iron because I just needed it. We may not need it so much anymore. I may be able to change these to some other things, maybe even do away with that one. Just have one of each of these, but I'm going to leave the iron there for now because I don't know that I'm quite done with it just yet, and it doesn't really hurt anything other than my power, perhaps. So we're also going to take a look at... where are you at? Where are you? Why can I never find these things? I was incorrect in my statement that you can't get rid of these trees. Where is the tree thingy at? It's around here. Oh, there it is. You can now. The tier 3 tree spreaders no longer have permanent trees. So if you want to get rid of the trees, you just simply take the tree thing out and boom, they're gone. So given that, I could have actually built this base a little bit more over the land, but since we'd already started out there, kind of already had the idea out there, I just kept it out there above the water. That doesn't mean that we won't put stuff up here and that we won't move these tree spreaders around, but and then they'll grow back, by the way. They'll take them a few minutes. If I save and come back in, they'll be here a little bit faster, I think. I moved the base again. As you can see, way out here, we started out way out there at the edge of that, basically this side of where that dome is, and then we moved it this way a bit further, and then I moved it again. This row of boxes here, used to be, or at the end of the last episode, was the front of the building. Now it's it was the front if you count the north as the front. It was the front of the building, now it's the back of the building. And we have this much building now. This is an 11 by 11 structure in terms of the size of the small living compartments. And the way I set this up, I have windows to put in yet, of course, on all these outside walls. But the way I set this up is 4 groups of 4 large living compartments, big living compartments, just like this, separated by a hallway of small living compartments, and then 4 again here, obviously, and then the hallways around the whole outside, and around and around and around. This is the old silicon box. We'll eventually need to move that, get rid of that. But that was the one that was here, at the end of... Actually, you know what? Let's just take it now. Take all this out. I moved everything else up to the front. We might as well... I already moved that one too. We just might as well empty it out. So we have now an 11 by 11. It gives us 16 of these large rooms to put stuff in. So we have plenty of space for what we need, because I remembered some other stuff we need. And a little bit of space to grow on. And if we need more space to grow on, all we simply do is add more onto the back or the sides or the whatever. I mean, whatever edge, really. I built it all symmetrical, so there's a landing spot here as well as a stairway, so I can easily get through the doors. I put in the first line of frame here, and then of course there's an individual frame sticking out the front at each stairway, but I did not put in any vertical supports yet. This is kind of just where I got to off camera. The frames are centered under, almost perfectly under, or perfectly centered, I should say. They're slightly off. Let's see, this one is slightly forward, more forward than it is this way. And then over here, it's, I think, going to be slightly more... that's actually pretty close. It might be slightly more forward than it is out, but it's pretty close. It's almost perfectly centered. It's as perfectly centered as it can be. And then everything else is that. Based on looking at the old base, these things are based on a three habitats, 3 living compartments. Space is 4 frames space, I think, or maybe it's 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4. So I could put another door in. I don't have any titanium. I could put another door in here just to provide the example. Here. And then that would actually be centered, more or less, a little bit less than more, but more or less, on that frame. I don't know if it's exactly centered as that one is. That one's not even exactly centered. It's slightly to the left. And so is this one. So it's not perfect, but it's close enough. If you wanted to have more doors more often, that would be the way to do it. Leave 2 empty and then do another one like that. I'm not going to do it. I'm actually going to get rid of that one and put it back in here. We're also going to get rid of this. Just as a demonstration, I think 1 door on each side is enough, at least for now, for me. Although, did that? It did. Okay, good. I was making sure it was in the right direction. I may change this one and the one at the far end as to be oriented the other way. I haven't decided yet. I may change my mind on that because I put these doors on the sides here. The alternative would be to rotate this one, but I think I'm going to rotate the other 2 and have the outside be a complete solid ring of this band, especially given the fact that the corners have the corner of the band there too, like that. So that's kind of where I'm at now in my brain. So we need to think about what to put in all of these little boxes. And now that I moved it a little bit, what does the water look like underneath the whole thing? Well, it's water underneath the whole thing. So we're good there. We have a little bit of space up here in this corner, but we actually can't move a whole lot more forward. Food level's low. I got food on my person here. Let's go up. Let's go stand on top here, actually. We actually can't move a whole lot more forward because we'll end up smashing into that rock there. So this is about as far forward as I can go with the whole width of the thing. Now that doesn't mean, of course, that I can't do some other extension that's not part of the giant square somewhere else. But for now, at least, this is what I'm going to, this is how I'm going to leave it. So beyond this, the next step is going to be to plan out what goes into where. And given that we're completely over the water, it kind of doesn't really matter what goes where. And I'm not going to frame in the whole thing. I may do crossbars across the middles in both directions, but I'm not going to frame in the whole thing. I'm just going to do maybe some corner supports, maybe a middle support if I do the crossbars, and then that'll be it. It's mostly just to have the frame here on the outside. So I think we can just pick what we want to be in what area and go from there. So what we're going to need, besides the stuff we talked about in the last episode, which is the all the stuff that's made in the auto crafters, what else needs to be in this base full time? Well, these are all base buildings, so they don't need to be, although I may do a glass ceiling on the office upstairs. I may do some outside lamps on those landings, just for fun, or above the landings, perhaps. That we'll have to see what those look like. I don't know. The launch platform is going to have to be somewhere. It's probably going to still be disconnected from the base, but it'll be somewhere nearby. I may move it from where it is to somewhere closer. Of course, we'll have indoor ladder to take us up to the office, but I'm also going to have the ability to land on the roof to go into the office via a door, so we can do that whenever. The other advantage, by the way, to having these landings is I can come outside and get a drink without having to fight with getting in the water. Beyond there, the biolab will need one of those for sure. I may end up taking out one of these boxes because it's a 2x2 and putting the biolab in one of these squares, and maybe even that will go in the same square with some of the other stuff. The biodome though is bigger, and I think I'm going to put that upstairs on the roof. The alternative will be to put that wherever I put the let's skip down a little bit, the biodome tier 2 and the butterfly domes. I don't know exactly where I want to put those yet. They may be an extension off of the side, say out this door over here or something. I haven't decided yet on how I want to do those. And so the biolab, what's it called again? Yeah, the biodome might go with, or maybe we don't need the biodome. Do we need the biodome? We do need one biodome for the specific purpose of giving us the access to that that particular yeah, this is super alloy. Don't care. Which is crass to say because super alloy is a little bit of a pain, but if I can mine it with a tier 3 miner, I don't care about collecting it anymore. While it does grow plants there, which we don't really care so much about anymore with things like the biodome tier 2, this one has the computer where we can access the unlocks at each level, and they added the fish unlock display or viewing there. So I don't want to rule out that they may add the next tier, the amphibian tier, in there as well, or they may add another building for that. We'll have to see how that works out. Hope that's not too loud. I was looking at the fences. These are interesting. They fit really, really well in between. They kind of fit pretty well. They fit really, really well here in between the different archways, I guess you call them, in here. So we could potentially put them in. It's weird that it'll go this way into the thing, but it won't go that way into the thing. All right, it's almost done now. But we can put them in here, which would be kind of interesting. I think it's almost done now. Good lord. Eat that too. So I may use some of those. I may also use them out on the frames. Thank you for being done. But they don't line up very well with these either. Unless you maybe... Well, they kind of do. They kind of look okay. I mean, they look like they work. One option that I thought about, which I didn't test, though, is what if I did it like this? Does that fit better, or does that make them clip with each other? That kind of makes them clip here in the corners, but maybe we don't care about that because they clip really well together. That looks kind of really nice. So maybe we put them in like that. I don't know. I haven't decided on that sort of decorative stuff. That may be the stuff that I put upstairs around the edges too, just to kind of denote that, hey, don't fall off kind of thing. We shouldn't need craft station tier 2, and permanently at least, because we shouldn't need to craft any of the stuff that's in here on our own. Now, of course, if they add more chips and updates later, we might need it. But we could put one of these in the office area or something and just craft those items upstairs and not worry about it. These are all one-offs, so I'm not that worried about them. And making the water and the oxygen out of these things isn't the best way to make them anyway, even though you can make these in the auto crafters too. So, with the exception of those two, none of this stuff's available in the autocrafter, but they're all one-offs. And until they add multiplayer, I don't see the reason to have any more than one of these things, if they even still add multiplayer. I think the same answer goes for the advanced crafting station, and maybe we could just go over to the whatchamacallit over here. The old base, that's what it's called. Jeez. And just take a look at that one instead of gathering the materials. And now that we're much closer, gathering the materials. Oh, I could put a teleporter in. How much power do we have? 1,800. Teleporters are 1,100. Is that total? Or I guess that's total, so less than 300 each. I guess I could look. 276 each, yeah. So, crafter, right, crafting. I think everything here besides, again, these one-offs are craftable in, yeah, everything else over here is craftable in the autocrafter, so we don't have any need for that either. Again, unless we need the one-offs for some reason. So maybe we put one of those in the office area too. The next is the veggie tube, which is an outside thing, so I don't care, outside thing. Nuclear reactors. We're actually going to build a lot more of these nuclear reactors just because we have so much uranium anyway. We might as well, and that's where I'll actually use the explosive powder that we have for. But we're mostly going to do nuclear fusion generators because well, we have a lot of those things too, and they provide 4 times as much power, 4 point something times as much power. Heaters outside, beacons, yeah, communication antenna. Do I even have one of those still? Oh, it's on the roof. It's on the roof of the pillar, I think. I think it's way upstairs. I think. I must have one, right? Must. Yeah, teleporters, DNA manipulators. We'll have to have one of those probably in the office area again. Gas extractors go on the outside. Like water collectors outside. Atmospheric water collector we're not going to use. I don't see the point. With the lake water collectors, we can just do that instead of the atmospheric ones. One shredder, again, maybe in the office, maybe in one of those blocks. Wherever we put the recycling machine, I'll probably put the shredder next to it. Food grower tier 2. I don't think we actually need these. They don't give us anything but food growth. And we might as well just do all the food growth with the farms and make them into flower beds. You get 5, I think, plant units from the farm. So I don't see why we wouldn't do that instead of these. I don't know if the growth time is comparably, but it can't be that much different that it makes that much of a difference. Orc sectors are outside. Autocrafters, of course, we know we're going to make a bunch of those. And then the drone station, we're going to have some of those, again, on the roof, maybe even on the roof of the office. I don't know, at least 2, maybe 4. Well, we can figure that out later. Ground. Biodome we already talked about. Butterfly dome we already talked about. Tree spreader tier 3 is ground. Incubator, we're going to actually have a few of these. It was suggested that I might want 2 to 4 of them, so those will probably just take up one whole room by themselves, which is the thing that I thought of. But we also have aquariums, although I think the aquariums I will just put upstairs in the office space, and we probably won't have very many of those because the fish farms. Yes, the fish farms generate a lot more of everything. 4 per second, and then they also generate plants and animals too, whereas plants and insects too, whereas these only generate animals. So aquariums, other than for display purposes, I don't see the point. We use fish farms for our true animal gain, biomass gain. Beehive tier 2, I want to talk about those, so I'm going to skip it. Farms we've talked about. Silk generator, I think 1 or 2. We have 3 currently, we don't need that many. Water life collector, we'll have to have a few of these. I don't know exactly how many, just to see what we want to gather, and then butterfly farms on the ground as well. Information screens, those will all be in the office area, and then the furniture will be in the office area, which I guess will also include a bit of living space too for the bed and the couches and things like that. So we'll figure that out in a little while. The beehive tier 2. We cleaned out the last time those bee larvae, and they do indeed come back. So they do indeed get spawn here in the beehive tier 2s. These produce 358 and 390 plants and insects. These produce 350 and 15. So they do give us a lot more insect gain, but I don't like the fact that you can't control what they produce, because eventually you're gonna have so many bee larvae you don't need that you're like, what do I do with those? I suppose I could request those at the shredder and destroy them after a certain point, because we can do requests here. I suppose I could. They're here in the list, so we could request them here and just destroy them after so long. That might be the way to handle it. I don't know. I'd like some thoughts on that too, if anybody is so inclined. Okay, so that's all that rambling. I think so. So I think we need to go and we need to get some magnesium for the signs, and we need to actually plan out where we're going to put everything. I haven't shipped magnesium, I don't think, to the other building yet. I'm just going to grab. Actually, I'm just going to fill my rest of my bag with it, and then we'll go over here and see how that works. Hydration level. I'll land, and then I can do the drink. There we go. And as we rebuild things, we're probably going to rebuild the drills and the heaters and the whatever the third thing is called, flower spreaders, tree spreaders. We're probably going to rebuild those or replace them somewhere else. I could even spread them around the map. That's not a bad idea. I do plan on going around the map and putting teleporters in maybe not every zone, but in more zones as we get things moving. Okay. So I have consumed my water. I am ready to go. So I think what we want to do, we already talked about having bacteria and bioplastic in the same area. We talked about having fertilizers 1 and 2 in the same area. We have 3 mutagens to deal with, and then we have common larvae and high quality food, which are also using organic things, either things from the farms or things from the water. So I think we can put all those in the same quad room. The only issue is potentially where do I want to put the presumably 4 incubators that I want to put in. Maybe we could put them in one of these, and maybe we don't cram as many things in into these other rooms is all that. Maybe we do 2 per room at most. So again, maybe bacteria and bioplastic go into one room, fertilizers go into another room, mutagen is spread between 2 rooms because I don't know reasons, and then common larvae and high quality food are in another room. And then we can do those incubators in another room. What else did we say that we wanted to put indoors in this building? I think we'll have silk generators. The silk goes into making fabric. We'll have one room somewhere in here that's just fabric, silk and fabric. I don't see any other need for silk in my notes, so I think that's the only place. But that'll be another crafting area. Let's see here. What else did I say? Anything else that I said inside? I don't think so. I also want to check if I should put the... Actually, it doesn't matter. If I put the nuclear fusion or nuclear reactors indoors or outdoors, I don't know if they can go indoors, but we might as well put them outdoors because there's no point in having them indoors, I think. At least not yet. Are we using veggie tubes still? I don't even think we are. I think we tore them all down to replace them with flower spreaders. I think. 13. I'm pretty sure we did. We had to have, right? We had to have. Okay. Anyway, so I think let's just do all of that. All of that. So maybe we put. Let's get a sign here. Where's the sign? Can I put these in a useful spot? Alright, I'll put it here on the wall. Ish. Yeah, on the wall. This will be our incubator room. Now, the incubators require a lot of... let me think. They require the larvae, which is neither here nor there, really. They require the fish, the phytoplankton, if you're researching those. But again, kind of neither here nor there. We can have boxes that pull those things into this room, so I'm not that worried about it. I know we needed fertilizer for some of the recipes. I know we needed a few other things for some of the recipes. So I think we'll just have boxes in this room that are pulling those things in, and that'll be fine. I don't really think we need to worry about putting certain things next to it or not next to it. So I think I'm going to come over here then and make this the... we'll make this the bacteria bioplastic room, maybe? Although those kind of don't make sense to put together either, do they? I mean, not that bioplastic really makes sense to put with anything. So I guess it's fine. Bacteria bioplastic. Can't fit it all. That's fine. I could probably remove a space to fit it. That's probably better. Okay, there we go. And then over here, let's do fertilizer. And then here, let's do mutagen. And then trying to think of which ones we should do where, how, why. Or whether we should do all 3 of them in one room or not. I think we should do... Actually, maybe we should do the mutagen over there. Maybe? No, this is fine. Let's do 1 and 2 in here. I'm thinking there's going to be a mutagen tier 4 at some point. So let's do mutagen tier 1, tier 2 in here. Yeah, I can... No, okay, that's fine. And then we'll do mutagen tier 3 in here by itself. Thinking that there will be a tier 4 very soon when amphibians are released, and we'll want to make that somewhere. mutagen. Learn how to spell, Wally. There we go. I think that'll be better than putting it a different way. So that takes care of this whole quad. Over here, we just have the one thing right now, which is the incubator. And then we'll want to make common larvae and high-quality food someplace. Maybe that can go here. I don't think it really matters. Let's just call it larvae HQ food. Maybe common larvae. That'll work. That works. And then over here, I think actually I'm going to make... I think I may leave that one blank. And I think right here I'm going to make the silk and fabric. Silk fabric. I think that makes sense to do in this area, separate from, because everything else I'm looking through right now, everything else I think is like metals based or you know, comes out of the ground anyway, like mined stuff or based on mined stuff. Pulsar quartz is all mined stuff. Uranium rods, iridium rods, superalloy rods, osmium rods, all comes from the ground. Rocket engines are made from those above things. Fusion energy cells, which I don't think we're going to make, all comes from those things. Explosive powder, I don't think we're going to make automatically. Again, comes from those things. Maybe we do. I don't know. Maybe we do. Make explosive powder and or fusion energy cells. I still haven't been over to look at the thing. We could do that. Circuit boards made from all stuff that's mined out of the ground, plus nitrogen and bioplastic, so that'll just have to get flown wherever we make the circuit boards, and then the drones as well. So grouping those things together is a bit hairier. Do we still have enough stuff to put down one of these? I don't have a super alloy rod on me. I must have spent it on... I don't know what the heck I spent it on. What did I spend that on? Incoming. Let's see what it is incoming. I have a door right here. You can look out that way. This looks like osmium? Maybe? Or maybe this is the purple one that's nothing. There is one, I think, that's nothing. That's purple. Just like there's like a yellow one that's nothing. It's not the thing that I always seem to forget the name of. The pulsar quartz. Because that's just the one pink meteor. Yeah, this looks like a nope. I also need to probably go back and get some more food packets at some point here. Because I don't have any on me. Alright, fine. It's not the pulsar quartz, so I'm not that worried about it. Okay, so we have 4 here and 4 there. The metals stuff, I think we can group a little bit differently. I was hoping to have had a super alloy rod so I could see that range again. I think it was 2 full small habitat, small living quarters, and so if it is, then we could do like the pulsar quartz maker, like in one of the inner corners of this. Yeah, it cleared already. It's clearing already. One of the inner corners of this, and it would pick up the stuff from pretty much everywhere else that it needs. Osmium, zeolite, iridium, uranium, and methane. Methane would have to be a box, but you know. Uranium rods, iridium rods, super alloy rods, osmium rods. 2 of those each could be in at least 2 of those each could be in each one of these blocks, probably more, but let's say 2 of them each, and then we just need to have a place to make rockets, circuit boards, and drones. And if we did all of that even, we could have, say, uranium rods and iridium rods here, super alloy rods and osmium rods here. We could have I think maybe rocket engines and drones here, and then we could have pulsar quartz and circuit boards here, and that leaves me with an entire quad bay with nothing in it, which means that gives us expansion for the future, which I think is probably useful. So let's just do something like I just said. Let's do iridium, uranium rods. Let's put, can I put a space in there if I can find the right spot? Or is there not enough? Maybe like, there it is. Let's do that. And then, actually maybe over here we do super alloy slash osmium rod, and I don't have characters for that. Let's just do S alloy osmium rods. And then those, let's see, osmium, zeolite, iridium, uranium, methane for the pulsar quartz, and the rocket engine, drone, circuit board. I think we'll do rocket engine and drone here. And then over here we can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, over here we can do circuits and pulsar quartz. Alright, I'm just going to do circuit then. Pulsar Q. There we go. And I think that'll work out fine. But now we have to put boxes in for things and autocrafters in for things. So I think we need to go and grab a crap ton of super alloy to make super alloy, or a crap ton of super alloy rods. This was, let's count up the things here. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18, I need food anyway. So let's go back to base. Actually, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm pulling all the super alloy into here. I'm gonna get another box down here. This one will just be a dump chest, maybe. Maybe I'll put it on this side, then that way I can denote that. I do need to set up sorting for the dump chests, but for now, I'm just gonna dump the stuff in there, except for the well, leave the osmium there too. And let's grab all the super alloy out of here. That'll probably trigger them to start grabbing some more from the miner. Which means we're probably going to need a bit more. There they are, going out here to grab whatever. Probably going to need a bit more super alloy mining going. What do those take again? That's what I spent my super alloy rods on. That explains it. Put away 4 of those. I don't remember what the numbers are, but put away 4 of those. And let's do this. Oh, well, almost correct. I don't think I have super alloy here at all anymore. I do not. So any other super alloy I get, I'm going to have to bring in. So I think maybe that's the first one we set up, because we need that set up in order to get this all working properly, because we don't have it right now. The same thing with the osmium. We have osmium rods, of course. We have a box full of osmium here, but we need to just to migrate that stuff over to the base. So let's have this supply osmium rods, priority 5, because we want it to empty out, and then we'll have this switch to supplying osmium, and at a higher priority than anything else, because we wanted to use that before it goes to the miner. We'll also need aluminum there. Yes, we already have those set up to those keyed to go. Let's take this one down. We don't need it here anymore anyway. I need to grab food before I leave. And we'll need iron, but we have iron out there. I took down the iron boxes that were here. By the way, these display cases that are in furniture, same thing with the butterflies and the fish displays, those will all go in the office living area as well. If that wasn't, I don't know, obvious? I don't know what word. So I think that'll work to start with, unless I'm missing and forgetting something. But we just need to set up transport of magnesium, transport of cobalt. Oh, I forgot the food. I forgot the food. Oh, here's my my radio dish. I put it on the ground right there. Right there. So we'll have to put that up on the new base someplace. Probably just put it on the roof again. Now that we're not doing a high freaking tower. Actually, I'm going to take all of these out there with me. Because, yeah. And so you can see the trees already coming back here. Put the food in the dump chest. I should have gotten a drink while I was outside. There we go. And, you folks. Got a few more of these in here. Good. How much? What do I need for that? Osmium rod, iridium rod, titanium. I didn't have the iridium rods shipping yet. Maybe I'll go do that off camera. So we want to make super alloy rods. We're going to make those over here someplace. They need to summon in. Well, they need a box. So we need to plan this out a little bit. They need box, and I'll put them. No, actually, I'm not going to put them in the center because there's going to be two of them. Another incoming. This is a osmium. Yes, this is osmium. So I don't care either. Boom. Yeah, the multiple. Yep, osmium. So we don't want this to be in the center because there's going to be two of these. They could be nearer the center, I suppose. But I think I'm going to do it like... where's it at? There it is. I think I'm going to do it like this. So they're a little bit off. They're not centered in the single unit either. They're a little more centered. And I'm thinking this for movement, so I can move around them a little bit easier. But I want to see what the actual center of the building, or the center of the crafting table thing, whatever you want to call it, is. Like that-ish. So something like that perhaps makes sense. That way there's a bit of space here where I can walk through. There's a lot of space here, and there's still a bit of space there. So this is going to need, in order to make super alloy rods, this is going to need to have incoming super alloy and aluminum. And you can see how far it can reach. So if there's something like this where somebody else in the area can use the same item, then I want to put that box in a common space for the two areas rather than having multiple boxes. I think that's better, especially kind of long term. So for aluminum, aluminum is used, let's see here, in circuit boards. And that's it. Now, of course, it's used in building things too, and that's going to be a completely separate idea as to where I put things that I need for building. Maybe those will be in the office too. The office is getting full though, but maybe we do that there. So since circuit boards are going to need aluminum as are these, then we'll put one box up somewhere in between the two. And then super alloy is also used in rocket engines, and that's it. Which I have over here. Yeah. So we could do, and then we'll need a box to put the super alloy rods in because I want to have one whole box of those. So I think what I want to do is go get my iron that I put in that box so that I can have it, so that I can use it. And we need more than that anyway. We need at least that much. At least 9, because we need 3 boxes. That was 9, right? Yeah. And then, maybe I put the super alloy right here. And how do I want to put these in? I think I want to put them in so that they're not crossing that middle line. That they are right there. And the only other option would be... Yeah, I think that's actually fine. And then we do, like... And I think maybe only 1 box even per archway. Haven't thought about that yet. Aluminum. You know what? Maybe I do this. Maybe not 1 box per archway, but 1 box back to back per archway. So maybe we do super alloy here. Let's just think about this. And then that way it can be shared with the rocket engines, which are made over there. And then we put the aluminum in here, which can be shared with the circuit boards that are made over there. And then we'll have to have a spot also to put the super alloy rods. And I don't think those are used in any crafting, auto-crafting, that is. So we can put them wherever, and I do want a whole box of these because I need to come and be able to come and grab them. I don't want just to have, well, it wouldn't even be that many. It would be, I don't know how many it would be, actually. Because this will get filled up also with ingredients, I think. So we definitely want to have some, you know, some space for that. But I'm not sure how this exactly is going to work, which is why we have to test it. So let's put this in here, like that. And then this will be super alloy rods. Do I want it there, or do I want it... Maybe we do them... Yeah, maybe we do them in the corners. Yeah, let's do that. Super alloy rod. And so now we want to have this demanding super alloy rods. At although, do I actually want this? Or do I want... Do I want to come in here to collect items? Or do I want to just go into one single area to collect items? And I think the answer is the one single area. But does that mean that I only want 1 box of super alloy rods? Possibly. Possibly not. The issue is going to be... Then I have to think about it a little bit. I think the issue is going to be that if I have a common area where I go to grab materials, say again in the office, then I don't need to have a box of stuff down here on the factory level that is not needed for the autocrafters to pick up automatically. If that's the case, then we don't need this box. We would put the super alloy rod box in a different spot. But I don't have that spot made yet, and I need these to get made now. So we're gonna have a super alloy box here for now. Long way around, but that's the way that it is. I may move this later, but for now, I think that makes the most sense. So you will demand super alloy rods at, I think at priority 4. I think. And then we'll have super alloy being demanded here at some level, probably also 4. Maybe the crafting floor is all level 4s. And then we'll demand aluminum at 4. And then we come here. Now, we don't demand those items here. instead, we just supply super alloy rods at the highest priority possible, because we're crafting them. No, at 4. Because the dump chests should be a 5. Anything we find out in the wild needs to be dumped higher priority than anything being crafted. Anything being mined would have a lower priority than, or would it? Well, we're not going to mine anything that's not being auto collected, or that's, yeah, so I think this is right. And I don't know now. We also need to turn down, I have a super alloy box over here that I need to turn the priority down on. Yeah. This shouldn't demand it anymore, or should be demanding a lower priority than the crafting, because right now it's not going to get made. Do I want it to demand this anymore? Maybe we just don't demand it anymore. Maybe we just use this as a supply to empty it out, and I just need to come over here to get super alloy when I need it. I'm going to drop these in there. Aluminum's already come in, and this thing's auto crafting. How often does it auto craft? I don't know. It should dump those into there. But that's going to depend upon the logistics then, I guess. I guess they don't auto deploy. I kind of wanted to see when this thing crafts the next thing. There, the logistics just grabbed it. So why have you not started the next one? There's not enough super alloy here. There it goes. Okay, I guess it doesn't pick up. You can see the bots, the drones even in range. I guess it doesn't pick up the items into here because this requires 9 items. Yeah, there you didn't ever see them in there. So it just grabs the things out of the box and says, "Hey, I've got stuff in range. I can do it." So that'll work. I think that'll work. Osmium was going to work the same kind of way. We need to have osmium that's shared with something else, pulsar quartz, and actually that's it for the stuff we're going to actually craft. So pulsar quartz is here. So maybe we do the osmium kind of similar to the aluminum, and put in a box right here that I don't have the iron for. Perfect. Perfect. That's 12. That should be good for a little while. I love the phasing in and out of the whatchamacallits there. So we'll do osmium here. I need to do this like that. This will be osmium. And then are osmium rods used in anything, or is it just for me? It's just for me. So we could put those like here as opposite the other ones. And again, this is the other one that's just temporary that I may just move elsewhere when the time comes. But I'm gonna need those for tier 3 miners, so that makes some sense to me. So this needs to demand osmium rods. Again, we'll just do it 4. If you have any thoughts on that particularly, like what to prioritize it at, let me know. Demand osmium at 4. And then I want to also do these 2. We don't have the stuff to make autocrafters just yet. Maybe I do. I have enough for 1 more right now. But I want to do... I don't want to autocraft these anyway. We could put the autocrafters in, but I don't want to autocraft them anyway. But uranium and iridium are going to need to be available here for pulsar quartz, rocket engines. Yeah, pulsar quartz and rocket engines, both of them. So let me put one of these down, actually, just so that I can look at that recipe here. without having to go to another crafting station. Let's see. Rocket engines need the rods. I didn't note that. Oops. And then pulsar quartz needs the ore. Okay. Let me change my notes a little bit here so I don't screw myself up later. Iridium rods are used in rocket engines. But I don't want to craft these yet because I have a crap ton of these. We just need to get them over here. So let's think about iridium. Maybe the iridium ore can go into a box. I don't know why I scrolled. Over here. And we can request it. I don't have any being supplied to the network yet, but we can do that for now, and then we'll do it later. We'll deal with it later. And the same thing with the iridium rods, and I'll probably do that off camera, actually. We could just put those over here somewhere. And we do it the same, kind of mirrored as the others. I think that's right. And then those are going to also be demanded. It's not requests, it's demands. There we go. And I'll have to supply those. And then we'll do a uranium ore box here if I had more iron. Remember when I said 12 will last me for a long while? It doesn't really. I'm going to just grab a whole bunch. A whole bunch of. And then do this for, oops, uranium. And over here, our first example of one being backed up against the other, just like that. Uranium rod. And I'll turn those on so they'll get shipped over here at some point in the future. We'll do another one of these, of course, over here for uranium rod production sometime later, once we actually have, you know, the supplies nearby. Did I set this one up? No. Did they bring in? Yes. Let's turn this one on. Osmium rod. And you're going to supply osmium rod there. They'll come and pick it up and drop it into there. And yeah, there's not enough left for anymore. So that's kind of the idea. I just noticed the time that we are past our appropriate amount of time. So I think off camera, I'm going to build some more ore extractors, possibly one for osmium, definitely at least one for super alloy, just because we kind of need them sooner to make more. And then I'll turn the iridium and uranium boxes on as supply boxes, and then I can make some more of those, and we can collect some more of those items. Beyond that, I will probably work a little bit more on the framework for the support underneath, and then we can also talk about in the comments or in the chat or in Discord or wherever about any thoughts that you might have on where I should put the biodomes and butterfly domes and how many I should have. If you have any thoughts on that as well. And otherwise we're just going to keep working through some of these builds as well. That's going to be more of the focus for the next couple of episodes, is getting these rooms filled in. Even if we don't turn on the auto crafters right away, at least getting everything built and placed and ready to go is going to be the goal. So we're going to leave this here. Thank you.